It's time now for Coffee with Coach, presented by Duncan. Joining alongside me, as he is every week, is the head coach of the men's hockey team, Coach Leaman. The Friars won their final game of the regular season against the UConn Huskies, and Coach, we'll start with that one. You know, going into that game, that UConn was going to come in hungry to win that game. It's a tight game going into the third period. You guys scored early on. What did you see from your team in that one?
A great first period. I thought we played a terrific first period. Second period, I thought they had a good push. We were struggling managing some pucks there, and Jack came up with some big saves in the second period. And in the third period, I thought, we got back to our game, started winning face-offs. That was important for us. I thought, Logan just, we got Logan and Johnny and some other guys who just, if you get it on their stick and they have a little space, it was a great finish, great play. So big difference there in the game. But I agree. That was as hard a punch as we were going to see from a top four team, I think. I thought it was a good gutsy win for our guys. Wasn't perfect, but at the end of the day, we made one more play than they did, and those types of wins put hair on your chest.
Absolutely. And then, earlier this week, it was announced by Hockey East that the all-rookie team featured Roger McQueen, Quinn Manti, and Jack Parsons. What have you seen from that trio this season?
Well, I think the whole freshman class has really stepped up. Those three guys made the team, but, Julius, Fauchon, Donovan McCoy, all of them put together great seasons. So really happy with our freshman class. Those guys stepped in and they played big minutes and they've produced. So, I think it's one of the better classes we've had here, and it shows. They're a big reason why we're winning. Each guy's gotten better throughout the year, and usually a freshman year, you put up 20 points your freshman year. That's a really good freshman year. And I think we had 4 or 5 guys do that. And then you have Quinn and Donnie on the other side that have just been really good defensemen. For Quinn to finish plus 23, I think the next closest D in our league was plus 12. And it just tells you how good he was this year.
Wow. And your team was good overall. In fact, let's go back to before the season or early in the season ticket holder party. We're at Twin River, and Coach mentions to the season ticket holders, love this team. You got to come out and see them. The typical stuff that a head coach might say. But he says, second half of the season, we're not going to lose the game. And I just want to know, Coach, what did you know going into this season that you knew about this team?
Well, first of all, before that interview, Coach Bath and Coach English were doing shots at tequila and made me do 5 of them.
Yeah.
Right before the interview.
Yeah.
Pretty good. It was a gutsy call. But I liked the team. I knew that the point I was trying to make is basically that, the first half, when you're so young, the first half, there's going to be so much learning, and and we have to get through, some schedule and some tough road places that we're going to play, and I just knew there was going to be a lot of learning in the first half. But I thought if the group learned in the first half, I thought they could really take off in the second half. And that was kind of the point. I was, the fact that you say you could win every game, that was pretty aggressive at the time. But at the end of the day, there's so many times I've left the ice, with this group and been like, man, that's a good team. That's a good team. I like the group. It was aggressive, but I did feel like, the second half of the year that we could be, we could be a pretty special group.
And they really were special in the second half, but now the second half is done. It's postseason time. Friars open up the Hockey East playoffs for their run here against Merrimack Saturday night. Coach, it's been a long time since you played Merrimack, at least in hockey terms. Last time you guys played them was on the road at Lawler. You get to host them here. What have you seen from Merrimack lately?
Best power play in the league, good goaltending. So those two things right there are, that's good for playoff hockey. So, especially in one-game shots. So we're going to have to be really disciplined, be smart, and I think they have 2 really good lines that can score. So we're going to have to defend hard and counterattack hard and make sure that we're doing a good job of having traffic around their net.
All right, Coach. Well, it starts Saturday night, 7 p.m. Tickets are moving fast here at Schneider Arena. If you can't make it out, it's going to be on NESN Plus and ESPN Plus, as well as 790 The Score on the radio. Coach, best of luck.
Thanks, Nick.